ABC24 This Week, talking about the special legislative session in Nashville that's been going on all week and will continue now into Monday, much to people's surprise. I thought the Tennessee Lookout put it best. Let's put their comment on the screen here. After 5 months of anticipation, hope, hostility, pressure, and cynicism, the cynics won the day. Those who predicted Governor Bill Lee's special legislation session would end up pleasing no one were right. The House and Senate, both Republican-dominated chambers, can't even get along with each other. Reporters heard on Monday that only 4 bills would make it through the session, and the rumors appeared to be correct. The Senate gavelled out of session Thursday, having approved 4 bills and showing no indication to take up more. And then, to add insult to injury, I guess, you guys, was the rules that were laid out before this thing even got started at the beginning, including one rule that said no one could bring signs into the committee room or onto the House or Senate floor. And they actually kicked out some of the moms who were supporting some of the gun measures of one committee hearing, and then they kind of changed their mind. Cameron Sexton is actually challenging the judge's ruling that says that that was wrong for them to issue a stay or what would you call it, temporary injunction on the restraining order on that. And you know, it's gotten just silly in my mind. Susan?
I guess freedom of speech ends at the legislature's front door. Especially in Tennessee. I think that the whole session, although it was conceived by Governor Lee, his intent was good, we all knew that it would devolve into basically nothing. And I think that it's a clown show. I mean, to think that what they have accomplished so far was to drop sales taxes on the on gun safety.
Yeah, we have a graphic, in fact, of what things that have maybe passed. We'll see. The gun storage bill, which includes a gun lock giveaway, sales tax breaks on gun locks and safes. The TBI was a popular topic in a couple of pieces of legislation. They're expected to now produce annual reports on trafficking, and a notice of felony convictions has been reduced. They have shielded autopsies of children from public records requests. At least that's a measure that the House has approved. It has not. Again, both houses can't agree to meet together to approve each other's legislation. And also blended sentences for violent 16 and 17-year-olds is going to be taken up on Monday. So Otis, you're like, this is just, for Susan's point, the silliness of it, because a lot of these things are already in place. They didn't even need to be passed.
No, they didn't. And what the Senate did especially is thumb their collective noses at the governor. And it really makes Lee look like a weak leader. You know, my point is this. The only way that we're going to change laws is to change lawmakers. And if the groups that are there, the protesters, especially the ones that got kicked out, if they are really serious about wanting to make some change, they need to do it at the ballot box. You know, when I was a kid, I watched a classic movie, Susan, with some names you would know. James Cagney and
before my time.
Edward G. Robinson, actually, and Humphrey Bogart. The name of the movie was Bullets or Ballots. And I'm saying that even though the Proud Boys had bullets, because they showed up with AR-15s.
Outside the Capitol.
Outside the Capitol, and some guns were in the Capitol. It's the ballots that are going to make a difference here. And if people are really serious, they would vote to reduce the supermajority that is in both the House and Senate.
What does it say about the power of the gun lobby in Nashville that wins the day over a bunch of very emotional, crying Republican mothers?
Right.
Who want changes to some, I think, reasonable gun safety laws, at least according to polls that most Tennesseans support. I mean, that lobbying money is powerful stuff, and we're seeing it in this special session.
I mean, I would say it's both the money. I mean, I hesitate to attribute anything just to money into political donations, because I also think it's the electorate, right? How many of those Republican legislators are going to be willing to go back to their districts after voting for gun control, and how many of them aren't going to face a primary? The answer is they're going to face a primary.
But my point is, the Vanderbilt poll showed, you know, the 70–80% of Tennesseans, that's a lot of Republicans, support some reasonable gun safety measures.
But what does it say about our legislators who would pass? One of the few things they pass is to give free gun locks to people. And what do they think that a mentally ill person is going to do who has a gun? He's going to go run, get himself a free gun lock? And what are they possibly thinking about a 16-year-old who has just stolen a gun from a car? Is he going to run home and say, let's go buy one of those sales tax-free gun safes so I can put my stolen gun in there? None of it makes any sense. And it's shocking. And one other thing. I'm not old enough to remember James Cagney.
Well, it sounds like what Sam is saying here is that these legislators are coming from districts in which they are just as strident as the legislators are.
He's right.
He might be right about that.
He is right.
But there are also a lot of people, as to Rich's point, who want some sensible gun laws. And I'm not saying elect Democrats, but I am saying that there need to be some more moderate Republicans in the legislature that are at least willing to listen and try to make some sensible gun laws. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I think I come from a generation where we, and you do too, we toppled a government by our protests, by demanding change.
Right.
And that can happen too when people are pushed far enough.
Right.
So we're just not there yet. Is that
We're
your
not
point?
there yet.
Okay.